All right, we got Derrick Brooks here. I don't know. I'm gonna just start naming off everything, right? 14 seasons in the National Football League, Defensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl champion, Hall of Fame, high school, forget it, college, pros, just one of the greatest linebackers of all time. D Brooks, how you doing, baby?
I'm doing all right, AP. Coach AP, I'm doing all right, man. Just blessed to have any opportunity to talk to you, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing good. No, trust me. You knew this, and we talked about this back in 2006 in the Pro Bowl. I looked up to you. Huge Derrick Brooks fan growing up when I was in high school. You know, especially back then, D Brooks, right? All the linebackers
Yes.
were 6'4", 250.
Right.
And then here you come at, 6'1", 6', 210, 220, and just making plays all over the field. That was my inspiration. And I like, you know what? I think I can play in the National Football League as well.
Yes, you did, man. And again, at a high level. And that's what I like to think. And I always, man, used to kid our great friend, Junior Seau, about that. And he was telling me, man, way back in 97 when I made my first Pro Bowl, one of my favorite stories, he called me over, man, at the pool. I was so scared because, like, man, he knows my name. This Junior Seau.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me then, he said, hey, you're setting the tone, man, for what linebackers going to look like in the future. They're not going to look like me. And I was like, what do you mean, Mr. Seau? He said, no, Junior. He said, athleticism, open plays on the field, offenses spreading the ball around. And it's going to take guys like yourself, man, to keep the linebacker position relevant. And I just always carried that conversation with me moving forward as these offenses start getting more dynamic, start spreading everybody out. I just took it upon myself to be that guy to make sure that the linebackers always stayed on the field. We were four down players regardless. We wasn't specialists. We wasn't, the
Right.
nickel bag third. No, man, we were the linebackers, and we still going to be a critical part of anybody's defense. So again, appreciate, man, the compliment. And as well, you obviously take that man along and did your thing in New York, and obviously generations, man, of young players coming out the youth feel the same way and modeled their game, after yours.
Yeah,
So
I
you
think
was
that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But let's talk about something else, though. You got so many titles, so many accolades, but now you got a new title, a new role at the
yes.
University of South Florida. Tell me what's going on with that. What you got going on?
Well, with this the business approach University of South Florida is taking, hiring Rob Higgins as the first CEO of athletics. Usually this position was called vice president, of athletics, or it had more of an administration title. Well, my title now being the chief operating officer, we're understanding where the landscape is going, and it, to some degrees already are in terms of college athletics. We're looking at this as we're managing a Fortune 500 company. That is what the athletic department within the university system has become. So we're taking a very business-minded approach, where there's analytical data in terms of where we're looking at, where there's strategies now that we're planning. And AP is really no different than the strategies you play for or plan for when planning for a game plan. Obviously, you could clearly understand that as a head coach. It's just taking all those strategies. Now you're putting them on the business side. At the same time, hey, we got to be nimble, ready to make changes and fly on the go. But we got to have a strategy in place and a clear vision in place. And we're taking that business minded approach.
Yeah. Are you shocked, D Brooks? Like, just think about where it was when you was in college, back in the early '90s, and
Mm-hmm.
now today in college, we're talking about business, we're talking about financial, we're talking about, complimenting and compensating the player. And now I'm just
Mm-hmm.
trying to negotiate, not just, it ain't about scholarships. Rarely you hearing guys talk about the academic part. Now it's like, how much you paying me? Is that an issue that you're seeing as something new for you?
Yeah, it's rewarding on one hand and it's sad on the other. And here's why. When the student athlete part, the student is definitely taking a back seat to the economic part. But I think it happened at a pace that no one was ready for. And I think that's why you're seeing that mindset of transaction versus academics. And you're taking away the student experience to enjoy this part of their life, and they're turning it into a transactional business relationship where there's, no sense of foundation built. And it feels like they're always chasing in an economic mind state. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but let's have a strategy, behind it. So
Yep.
we're looking at it from a standpoint of, hey, we're not going to complain about what the landscape is. We're going to make the best game plan and strategic play within the landscape. And yes, this is a age-old conversation when it came to compensating players. We were talking about that in the 90s and talking about, hey, how can a college playoff system benefit the players? And the window was missed in so many lanes when the NCAA 2A, and I'll say this, AP, I felt they was arrogant and
Yep.
dismissed the player wants and needs instead of coming up with a strategy to understand this is where America was going. So now that you missed that window and now the genie's out of the box and now we got this thing called NIL, really what is it? It's a combination of what the house settlement is, where, hey, the rev share part of it. And then there are some traditional values to name, image, and likeness, such as an endorsement deal. Well, let's again look at it from that business standpoint and put these students, athletes in a business to conduct business versus chasing every transaction. And we know we're going to get that free, in terms of,
Right.
I hate the word when they say, oh, this is just like NFL free agency. No, no, it's not. Because NFL free agency is very, very, is very,
Clear.
very different. No, it is not NFL free agency. But what the premise behind that is, when players see, okay, a value of going somewhere else because they don't want to compete, where in free agency, competition is still valid.
Mhm.
Some of these kids are jumping in this portal, running away from competition. Everybody's not jumping in the portal to go get the next bag or making an economic reason. Some of them are jumping in this because they don't want to compete where they're at. And that's changing the whole landscape of the experience. And I'm going to give you, a stat, and I could be off on some of the numbers here, but I've learned since being in this position, man, it's close to over, if you put all the student athletes that go into this transfer portal, AP, it's close to 60 some percent of these kids don't even get another opportunity.
Yep.
Again, definitely going to fact check myself, but that
Right.
number is, if that number is one, is
Yeah.
way too many because they had the opportunity to stay where they're at and
Yeah.
get their education despite what the playing situation looked like in their academic sport. So
Yeah.
what do you
Just bad
tell?
advice.
Yeah, so what do you tell those 6 kids now that has lost this opportunity to get a free education?
Mhm.
They turn to other means, man, and I'm here to tell you, just other students I know that's in there, they're making bad choices right now. And I'm saying that very lightly and politely.
No, I'm with you. I had that, it was 4 years with Herm Edwards and Marvin Lewis at ASU, and I got out right when it started in 21, and it was kind of like, whoa, hold on, guys, what's going on? And I'm glad I got out, but I do got to, you got to give me a number now. If you was in today's game, what would be your number as an NIL? What would it take to get D Brooks, back to Florida State? You know what I mean? If we was
Man,
as one.
but you know what, AP, man, I'm wired so different. Obviously, I went to Florida State, man, because one, it was the closest school to Pensacola, Florida. And if something happened to me, my mom and dad could get on that road and drive and see what's going on. It wasn't like
Mhm.
they knew what catching a flight was. They'd never been on a plane.
Right.
So, and obviously the second reason, I went to Florida State because, of Mickey Andrews, the D coordinator. And I can't put a price tag on what that relationship has meant to me, playing defense under him and playing under Coach Bowden.
Right.
It's hard for me to imagine what my life would have been like to lead that relationship, man, chasing money and transactions. It's hard to think that way. Honestly, yeah, I could have fun and say, hey, man, my price tag, would have been,
But
five,
what,
$10
500?
million a year. But man,
Woo!
you know what? Giving me that amount of money, man, back then, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you. I promise you that. Hey,
No doubt.
I'm the guy that when they gave me my Pell Grant check, man, I was trying to find the nearest liquor store to cash
You
it. I
good
ain't know
then, huh?
anything about no bank.
And that was a couple $100 then. You got a
Exactly.
couple hundred. Hey, let's go back now. 2002, great season for you, defensive player of the year. I mean, everything you was doing on the field. That was my second year in the league, and I'm watching you from Washington Redskins at the time. Like, man, just watching that Bucks defense. What do you recall from that year individually and in the Super Bowl that you said, man, those are special moments?
Well, the first thing I recall from that season is John Gruden becoming our head coach in the middle of the night, literally. And the Bucks doing something that has never been done before in terms of draft picks and paying money to get a coach. So Coach Gruden shows up, middle of the night. We have a team meeting the next week, and he gets in front of our team, and he goes in on our defense. I mean, man, he's talking about how, we think we this, we think we that, man, just going in on us like, man, and we're like, who is this dude, man? Who we know has been carrying this franchise? Like he's going in on us. And then at the end of the conversation, like he's going in, he looks right at me and he said, hey, you think you all that. You haven't even won Defensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
How about that, Mr.
Wow.
Mr. Derrick Brooks?
Wow.
I was like, man, this dude tried me. That's all I was thinking in my mind. So we go out to mini camp and everybody do 9-on-7 first drill. The man runs a naked bootleg at 9-on-7. So man, I remember Sapp is pissed off. Sapp looked at him and said, hey, this a running drill. He said, yeah, I know it's a running drill, just like Michael Vick still running on y'all asses right now. Y'all hadn't stopped him yet.
Come on.
He said, naked bootleg, y'all haven't stopped him yet. Sapp looked at him. All right, no problem. I'm talking about for the next 10 plays, they couldn't even get a snap. He was killing it. Sapp went, he went home.
He went full bore on Sapp.
Man, went full board. But I remember that, AP, because that set the tone. One, after that practice, man, Coach Gruden came to us like, hey, I did this because I see greatness. When I got in front of that room and said winning a world championship, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're capable of. And at that time, man, as great as Coach Dungy is and was for us, we needed a switch in that mindset to challenge us like that. We'd always been humble about our approach, but now we had somebody that was leading our team that told us, hey, you guys don't be afraid to tell people you're great. Tell them you're great, go out there, show them you're great, and guess what? Line up and do it again. And we needed that Coach Gruden mindset. So we entered that season, man. We went on that run. I knew about halfway through after the loss to Philly of all places. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know how we both love Philly. So after that loss to Philly, I saw how our offense fought back to give us a chance to win. And I knew then, man, we come back, we're going to beat them. Yeah. We finally got our offense to stand up against, Coach Johnson and his defense, man, and they had
them boys are good, man.
They were humming. And for years, they were the ones that knocked us out of the playoffs because our offense it wasn't good enough to match them. What Coach Gruden did, man, he ran out of time. He figured them out. And I knew then, man, we got a serious chance to do something special. So I knew from mid-season on, man, we had a really, really good team. And we were that team, man, that got hot going into the playoffs defensively. Man, we were getting turnovers, left and right, scoring with the football. And, his final challenge to us was, hey, a great defense scores. Like, you guys have been a good defense, but you hadn't been great because you hadn't scored a touchdown. Be history maker.
How many did you get in that Super Bowl?
We got you. So, man, we scored. We were scoring. We just got on a run. And once we hit the playoffs, and I always tell people, even today, when we beat Philly for that NFC Championship game, that was our Super Bowl. Oakland they were an opponent. But our Super Bowl was won that night in Philly, man, when we shut down the vet. That was our Super Bowl win.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, watching that Super Bowl and just seeing, 3 defensive touchdowns in that game?
Yes.
I know you had one. You had one late in the fourth quarter, about 44 yards. Nice and smooth in Tampa, too. Just sitting there reading the quarterback.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I said, does the ball just find him all the time? And then in the biggest game? And then you so deep work, but you're just so smooth how you run it, man. I don't know what the 40 was at that point, but you just glide in that end zone for about 44 yards.
Yes, sir. Blindside hook, man. The quarterback, he don't look you off. You get him every time.
Oh my God, Rich Gannon still seeing man, where these dudes coming from? That was a beautiful Super Bowl, especially when you watch, you know how that Super Bowl was, right? The number one ranked offense versus number one
Yes.
ranked defense. Gruden just left there, and you watch this high. I mean, look, who was it? Jerry Rice on the other side, Tim Brown. They got all these
Tim
Hall of
Brown,
Fame.
Joey Porter. Yeah, man.
Oh man,
Charlie Garner. Hey, people don't realize how great Charlie Garner was.
D Brooks,
You know,
the dude was
hey,
real.
CG was real. He was the only one going into that game. Like people say, Coach Gruden knew their offense. Man, Coach Gruden knew their personalities. That was our advantage. It wasn't the X's and O's. We see that watching tape.
Right.
Coach Gruden did a great job that week because we didn't have a bye week then. We left from Philly, Tampa, packed the bags out to San Diego. We ain't had time to think about it.
Yep.
Coach Gruden did a good job, AP, of telling us their personalities. Hey, this is what Jerry Rice gonna do in this situation. This was Tim Brown. Joy, he went through the entire roster and he waited to get to Charlie Garner last. He said, this guy here, this is the only guy that can beat us. He said, he's built different. He ain't gonna take no crap. Hey, he's just like you guys.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna take no crap. He gonna bring it. And if we don't take him out the game, he can beat us by himself. And man, you know what? The first two plays we called, we did some uncharacteristic we don't do. We didn't come out and line up in our regular. Man, we went straight to him, took
Blitz
him out
black.
the game.
What you do? Blitz the back.
Man, what double blitzed him?
Yep. He gonna stay in now.
Double blitzed him to take man to man. Hey, there's no plugger. Take him out. What?
It's funny you
what?
talk
Now
about.
You got me, man. Now you got me thinking I can do it again.
Come on. Hey, it's funny. When people see us in the streets, they always say, "Man, who was the toughest guy you had to guard or tackle and all that?" And I said, "Be honest, for me, it was Ricky Williams. Like Ricky Williams was that guy when the first time I hit him, I said, "Oh my God!" I felt like I hit a truck. I said everything on him was hard. He's hitting low and he's running mad and he's 245. I remember like going home after the game. I said, "I don't know if I'm gonna last in the league if they all hitting like this." What running back or player? And real quick, another guy that I hated playing against was Larry Allen. Rest in peace.
Oh,
L.A. D. Brooks.
Hey,
I hated when I had the B gap. I wanted to stunt.
Yes.
I didn't want no part of it. I wanted no part of him. No part of it.
Hey, you had to see him way more than me because y'all was in the same division. But I would say I'm gonna say running backs. The two running backs that I knew I had to be on top of it every single snap was one, Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk, man, from the cerebral part, athleticism, you name it, man. I had to match every skill set, man, going against him in the Rams. And the other guy, man, this was since college, Fred Taylor.
Ooh, Freddie T. Yes.
Hey, Freddie T, man, obviously everyone knows how I feel he should have been in the Hall of Fame, should be.
Years ago. Man, soon the 5-year, first time ballot. I don't man, that's the one I don't understand, D. Brooks. Like, how is he not? That dude was silky smooth.
Man, I'm saying, and since college, this man here, man, was a headache. I'm talking about he was a headache, man, that's Excedrin couldn't his skill, again, running style, Fred can run any style. If you want power, he give you power. You want athletics, open field, you want slippery feet, you want cutting on the dime, you want dropping your shoulder, you want hands. He was that. So I would say them two, man, Marshall Faulk and Fred Taylor, in terms of running backs, them was the top two for me, man, that I knew I had to get a little extra rest every week playing them.
All right, so now we're in the present day, D. We're in the present, DB. The way the game has changed, and you just had an appeal that you had to hear just recently with the linebacker about this hip drop tackle, right? We didn't really do that. Like, when I came in the league, you had to face the guy up, right? Everything was a face tackle. You bite the ball, same foot, same shoulder. But now this hip drop tackle, talking about how difficult it is for you to go through that appeal process with the players in today's game and them complaining about how it's really officiated for the offense.
Yeah, yesterday, and now again, I got to be guarded here, AP, to be honest with you.
I understand. Totally understand.
Just because the process, but I would say this in general: this particular tackling style and play has produced such high number of injury
Totally agree.
that the league and everybody had to step in and talk about it and go in the direction of what do we do to help players protect themselves and yet not take the art of tackling out the game. If anything, to your point, bring the art of tackling back to the forefront
Yeah.
versus what they're doing because of the injury rate. So, I mean, it was data looked at from angles,
Yeah.
man, to different schemes, to, all these different things, to trying to get some very similar, of language that explains
Mm-hmm.
this technique it's not good. So I look at it from that standpoint of, being an appeals officer as long as I have,
Yep.
there is some sensitivity that I have in that as a defender in looking at the position that the player is in. And at the same time, in what was being discussed just in the appeal hearings, I got to take all the information in from the team, from the players, from the union. So once I do that, AP, I go back and I study the video. I study everything from past behavior, current behaviors, anticipating future behaviors. I put it all on the table. And in this particular case, I just felt the decision that I made to make this more of an economic consequence than a player sitting out. I
Right.
feel we can accomplish the message of he having to change his game and moving forward. So I sure hope that he does it.
Yeah.
And, I believe that the men that are around him, from Coach Quinn to Bobby Wagner to Coach Norton, I just think they
Yes.
are going to really work. And I do believe he'll put in the work to change it. And there are specific examples that the league put out every week as the correct way to do it.
Yep.
And he talked about that. Again, I can only say so much, but
Right.
he talked about some of the things that he sees he can do to improve his tackling techniques. And I hope he does it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, coaching for the Raiders, coaching linebackers, then coaching, then come the head coach. That was one thing that I always emphasized. Man, I said, look, I'd rather you take the charge and you drop on a guy's leg or hit him in the knees or hit him in the head. Like, you get in front of him. And that's how I was taught the game. And just
Mm-hmm.
watching guys like yourself and, the Armsteads and the Ray Lewis's of the world, like, that's what we did, D.
Yeah, well,
You put you,
exactly. You said that one critical running up and through the tackle,
tackle.
finishing the
Yes.
tackle versus just taking the extra step to get intimate is
Yep.
what I
Yep.
tell
Oh,
them.
100%. That's it. Just take that extra step, that extra, foot, 6 inches, even, whatever it is. That's the
Yes.
difference in those kind of plays. And again, you don't want to see the injuries that we've had happen throughout
Mm-hmm.
the NFL season over years. And I even go back to when he was playing, when we were playing, Roy Williams, and that was like the
Yes.
first time you saw that, and you're
Yeah.
like the horse
Yes.
collar, and you're like, hold
Yes.
on. And I'm glad we're getting it out, but I just wanted to make sure, for everybody watching, what the process is for it, because defenders and guys that play, you're making the game soft, you're doing this. But at the end of the day, it's all about protecting the players.
No, you protect the players, and just saying, you as a head coach in your tenure, all coaches now will take whatever decisions made in this process. You showing your team,
Yep.
hey, this is to avoid this. This is what you have to do because you don't want to be suspended. All 32 coaches, are talking about that this today. Hey, this is what happened. This
Mm-hmm.
what happened. It got overturned. But if you're in this position, the coaches owe it to the players to show them. So I always try to tell AP when guys come through this process, man, take 5 to 10 minutes every Friday. This video comes out
Yes.
of
Yes, it does.
the way to play. 5 minutes, 5 plays that the league put out every week, especially for us defenders. Watch it.
Yes.
Watch it. It doesn't cost you anything to watch it, but it costs you on the back end when you come through this process. Yes, we can rescind, we can reduce, or we can affirm. But
Right.
put yourself in the best position not to even go through this process. I
100%.
spent 5 minutes to watch it. So when I'm talking to the players through the appeals process, and thankfully enough, man, I get a chance to stay connected through this process to the young men to talk to them, and they generally want to know. But it'll lead me down that other soapbox, man. When you talk about coaches, and I'm looking at us had this conversation here when my heart of hearts know we shouldn't be having this conversation
Right.
here. I know why you should be.
Right.
That pisses me off too. I'll just be honest with you.
I know it does. I know it does.
It gets me hot under the skin because I know the effect that you had and have leading from the front. And I hate when we miss opportunities for us to have those opportunities, man, with our young men. So, man, I know you're doing your thing and staying in touch with these guys, but I would be remiss if I did not let the audience know, man, how disappointed I am that we're in this type of conversation versus another type conversation, man, with you leading from the front. And I hope you get that opportunity again, man.
I'm not sleeping. I'm always working on it, D. You know, that's something I appreciate it, man, especially coming from you. But before I let you go, our social media team, they did this to me. This was tough. I'm gonna be honest, D. This is hard now because the names I'm gonna give you, you got to pick or choose. Now, I want you to choose between these linebackers in their prime. I got a list of guys. I'm gonna go through them, and you pick one guy, and I'm gonna keep going. Patrick Willis or Luke Kuechly?
Wow. I'm gonna say Patrick Willis.
Okay. Patrick Willis or London Fletcher?
Oh man, we got to go with Iron Man,
Okay,
Mr.
I
London
like it.
Fletcher. Yes.
London Fletcher, Roquan Smith. I'm telling you, this game gonna get better.
Man, right now, Prime, man, I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna have to go Miss Smith. I'm gonna have to go with him.
Okay, all right. Roquan Smith, Zach Thomas.
Man, I'm for what Zach was to Miami defense. Honestly, this is a tough one too, man. I'm gonna have to go with Zach. I'm gonna go with Zach. I know I'm not thinking the totality of what those Dolphins defense are not what they are without Zach.
No, that little dude ran around the field crazy. All right, here we go. Zach Thomas, Levante David.
Oh man,
I hit you home. I went home one.
Yeah, I'm a homer with this one.
I'm a homer.
I'm gonna have to go with my 5-4 in red. I honestly think he doesn't get the credit, man, that he deserved. Obviously, he played on some teams here that wasn't good, but man, this young man, consistency at his best, and every defensive coordinator, man, he's evolved his game to accelerate and exceed. Now, obviously, Coach Bowles been here the longest with him, and you just see a different part of his game get better every year. So I'm gonna pick Levante.
All right, here's another good one: Levante David or Brian Urlacher.
Oh, I'm ready to go with that 5-4 up north, man.
Something about that 5-4 going. All right, hold on.
Man, that 5-4 up north. He's the only linebacker I know that turned cover 2 into cover 4 as a middle linebacker.
Big sucker in the middle of that field eating up everything.
Yes.
Okay. Brian Urlacher or Buddy Junior Seau?
Oh, Buddy.
Okay.
Buddy.
Yep. I already know that.
Buddy. Man, Buddy.
Different.
Buddy gave us that first. When you thought who was gonna take the mantle after Lawrence Taylor, man, Buddy was there. Buddy did it. He did it for us.
Right. He did it. Bobby Wagner or Derrick Brooks?
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and be a little selfish. I gotta bet on myself. I ain't gonna bet on me. Who else I'm gonna bet on?
Come on. All right, now this one goes all the way back to college. Lewis.
Derrick Brooks or Ray Lewis? I'm gonna do what Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin said it was a tie.
Hey, listen, and the last one's gonna be the most difficult. It's like, all right, Ray Lewis, Derrick Brooks, or Lawrence Taylor. Like, give me all three. I'm gonna take all three. I'm not even gonna do that to you, D. Brooks. Give me all three.
No, man. Hey, LT, no discussion. We arguing over second. Okay, first is
we're done.
You don't bow down to LT, your fellow giant, man. Hey, we arguing over second, third, fourth, fifth, and no argument over number one.
Derrick, appreciate your time. kick butt like I know you're going to do and set the precedence there at South Florida. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, brother. Look forward to talking to you again. Go
Yes,
Bulls.
sir.